Sometimes you compromise and you do the wrong thing and then you've got to go and fix it. That's difficult, asking forgiveness, telling a supplier or a customer, I've acted in the wrong way. I've been wrong, I've wronged you, and ask forgiveness. You lose money, but you gain trust and you gain respect. And you respect and trust and character is more important than anything you can ever gain in this life. I was going through a difficult phase and I was quite upset, and I had this argument with the Lord, and I said, God, this is not what I want, this is not what I expected, this is not what you promised, this is not where we are supposed to be, this is not kingdom business, this is not honoring you, this is not comfortable anymore. And he didn't answer any of my statements except for one. He said, I'm not interested in your comfort, I'm interested in your character. That day I realized comfort is not wrong, money is not wrong. But if your character is not a godly character, then God can't use you in His kingdom. If your character is not aligned with Him, then He cannot use you. That's your most valuable asset in any business, character. Before we start building a character around a business or around a product, we first have to make sure that our character is a godly character, that we reflect God's character. There's also the thing of ownership. Like Neil said, we don't own anything. God created everything. Everything belongs to Him. We are stewards. The function of a steward is to look after something as if it is your own. Now, if you think that that means you are not allowed to have luxury, you are not allowed to eat the fruit or have the benefit of what you are stewarding, Bible says you are not allowed, what do you call mailband? You're not allowed to prevent the muzzle. You're not allowed to prevent the horse or the cow, the ox or whatever you use to do the reaping. You should allow them to eat. God won't give us a principle that He doesn't apply Himself. You are allowed to enjoy the fruit of your labor. He said to me, He once gave me a vision. I said, God, why are some people rich and some are poor? Isn't it wrong to be rich? Some pastors will tell you it's wrong. Some will tell you if you are poor or if you have experienced lack, then you obviously are off. God is punishing you. There's something wrong with you. He's not. He's training you. Training is that awesome part of your life that you never want to repeat. You never want to have it again. Yeah, it's awesome because of what you learned. It's terrible to go through. So he showed me this vision, and it was almost a year ago. It was this awesome vision. I was walking in this house up against the hill, beautiful view, and I walked into, I can't call it a garage, it looked like a showroom, all these luxury cars standing there, and everything was controlled from a mobile device, cell phone, whatever, windows opening, curtains opening, blinds opening, closing, music being switched off, even the fireplace you could switch on from your device. And this guy was rich. He didn't have any lack. And he went and he sold everything and he moved downhill, stayed in the valley and shared everything. And I said, Lord, this is awesome that somebody can have that heart for other people. And then God hit me with the answer I didn't expect. He said, what about his neighbor? Who's going to reach that neighbor up there on the hill? Who doesn't know God and who relies on his money, not on God? Who's going to reach that guy? This guy had his money because he's got to reach that neighbor. Can you imagine if every single business owner, small and big, gives their heart to the Lord, gives their business to the Lord? No lack anymore. Everybody's got a place to work. Everybody's got food. Everybody's got a house. If we expect the guy with the money to just hand out, he's going to sit with nothing to give. And then it's another person dependent on the system. Never be envious of the guy who's got, because having abundance is a heavier burden than having nothing. If when you have nothing, you've got to rely on God. When you've got everything you wish to have, it's easy to forget who God is. So yeah, those are a few things that God taught me in the past few years. He also taught me that people, every single person you meet is his child. He loves everybody equally. And sometimes the way people act towards you is a reflection of how you act towards them. Sometimes what you see in others and what upsets you about others is a reflection of your own character or character flaws. If I get upset with somebody, I can always trace it back to an issue in my own life. And if God loves that person, and if He can love me, because I know me better than I know anybody else, if God can love me just the way I am, by the way, He loves me just as I am, but too much to let me stay this way. If He can love me, He loves that person, then I've got to love that person too. And I've got to find a solution for every situation that we've got. If you're upset with me, let's see how I can change myself so that this doesn't, so that this situation can disappear. Especially in business. If you are the business owner, you are the father. If my son comes to me and say, Dad, you've done this and this and this, and I don't agree with that, I can just say, I'm the father, go. That's my way. You've got no authority to point out my mistakes. Or I can say, thank you, let me go pray about it. If you've got an employee that comes to you and say, I don't agree with your management style, I don't agree with this product, I don't agree with the way you treat customers, I don't agree with that supplier, just say thank you and go and pray about it. If he can pray with you, it's even better. And suddenly I've got a total blank. When, maybe that's all I should have said. Maybe it's time for the power. Yeah, in a family, there's love. And that was the one thing God said to me about business. He said, in a family, there's love. And the son can only do what he sees the father doing. And if I don't spend time on my knees with the father, then there's no way that I can lead a business. Because I cannot lead a business in my own image. I've got to lead a business in the Father's image. That's kingdom business. If somebody do business with you, you have to love them. I said, but Lord, what if I've got to do business with doesn't matter what religion, somebody who doesn't know you? He said, let them know me through you. Love them. I said, but I can't be in the same yoke as a non-believer. He said, I'm not saying get into a yoke with them. I'm saying love them. Do business with them. He said, you can go to your Egyptian neighbor and ask him for all his scatter, all his valuables, all his treasures. And you can leave Egypt with that. He will give it to you. But you still have to love him. Don't steal, ask. But love him. And it sounds easy. Love sounds simple. I asked him to show me love. And every time I ask God to show me love, it's the most amazing thing he shows me, but it's also the most terrifying thing. Because every time he shows me, he shows him hanging on a cross. That's love. Total sacrifice. Total submission of who and what you are. I think we've all heard it. God said, or people saying, Jesus said, it's not the nails that kept him to the cross, it's his love for us. He could easily have just come down from the cross, but then it wouldn't have been done. He followed all the way through until it was done. That's what we've got to do in business. Love your customers, love your suppliers, love your employees, love to the end, all the way through to the end. There's a great teaching that Warren's got on the gates of provision. And when I saw it the first time, I thought, okay, I've seen those gates, but they are closed. They should be open. Why are they closed? And as I went through that teaching, I realized that my provision stopped because of people that's got something against me. I've forgiven people, but I've never gone to say I'm sorry. And if I forgive somebody and I don't say I'm sorry, it means that it was your fault, not mine. So I'm the righteous one, you are in the wrong. But I forgive you. It's okay. I'm righteous, you are wrong. I forgive you. Look at me. I'm the good one, I'm forgiving. But I didn't give him an opportunity to forgive me. I didn't acknowledge my part in the story. And I don't care whether it's somebody's perception or whether it's somebody's view of me. If there's something that a brother's got against me, I've got to go to him and say, I'm sorry, unconditionally. Not about your part in the story. This was my part. I'm sorry, please forgive me. And that opens the gates. It applies to business and to personal life. But in business, it's extremely strong when you've got a supplier, a customer, whoever, business partner, and you're upset with them and you turn your back on them and I never want to see them again. That's not building the kingdom. That's the most difficult part for me. Yeah. For a son and a daughter, it's easy if you've got a son and a daughter to sacrifice for them. It's a bit less easy if it's employees, especially if they are stealing from you or coming late or disrespecting or chasing away customers. You still have to love them. Love conquers all. What did I think at this stage? That's where I'm going to stop. I hope you can connect all the dots. I've jumped around quite a lot.